How much can you see with those Sharingan of yours?
What I'm seeing right now, Itachi, is you dead at my feet.
In 2005, Naruto premiered in the US on Cartoon Network, exploding in popularity. Now, the best way to describe the quote-unquote Naruto bubble when it came to US audiences is that it was basically the Dragon Ball Z of its time. But Dragon Ball Z was to kids and teenagers in the 90s, and Naruto was that for kids and teenagers in the 2000s. Naruto changed the landscape for anime, not only Japan but immensely in the US. Before Naruto, anime was just another cool morning cartoon that kids watched before they went to school. But when Naruto hit our televisions, anime became more than that. It became more popular. All of a sudden, the world of anime and manga opened up to a new audience, with people getting into this industry more and more, discovering new anime and a plethora of new stories. It's hard to express or describe how big Naruto was in that mid-2000s timeline. It was sort of in that realm of a niche subject, but everyone knew about it or watched it, whether they admitted it or not. And well, it seems like someone at Nike was either a prior fan of Naruto, or they either saw their son watching it on a Sunday morning. Because in that same year, Nike released an ambitious new product. Contact lenses that would heighten an athlete's visual acuity that was eerily similar to a special power in the Naruto universe. Nike is known the world over for their sportswear, notably their footwear, with the Jordans being one of the most popular shoes in the world. Nike isn't just a subsection of sports and fashion. It's actually managed with its innovations and mass market appeal to become part of the overall cultural zeitgeist, and in meaningful ways, even defining sports and fashion as a whole. But in the 2000s, they're looking to venture into a different aspect of athletic apparel. They already had been producing eyewear since the 90s, with the sleek sports look of their sunglasses. But they took the idea of eyewear a little further, and some might say a little too far. Instead of eyewear, this idea became, and for the sake of being too literal, eyeball wear. Nike, with all the millions of spends each year on new technologies to improve athlete performance through footwear, headwear, shorts, shirts, socks, their next venture would be centered around the eyeball, and thus Nike put all the greatest minds together, all their sports scientists, and came up with the Maxsight contact lenses. In development for 8 years by Nike vision consultant Dr. Alan Reichow, Nike was looking around at their library portfolios of new products in development, and someone picked up Dr. Alan Reichow's folders and said, hey, let's go with this. And it was a very ambitious venture for Nike, who was always looking to push the boundaries of athlete performance. This was the nichiest of niche markets. A product of this kind had only been done once before by sunglasses producer Bull, who teamed up with contact lens producer Wesley Jensen to make a product called ProSoft 5 years before the Maxsight was released. And so Nike, putting all their focus and capital behind this new product, in 2002, Nike partnered with Bausch & Lomb, a company specializing in eye products. It's one of the largest suppliers of contact lenses and lens care products. So Nike was really investing in these new Maxsight contact lenses. Just like what the Jordan 1s wore for sports footwear, they were hoping the Maxsights would be that for eyewear. Now, just like any other contact lenses, the basic idea of the Maxsight contact lenses was that it would improve the athlete's vision. By doing that, the lenses were made so that they would filter ultraviolet light to reduce sun glare. They were basically sunglasses for your eyeballs, on your eyeballs. How the lenses achieved this filtering was through a new patent technology made by Nike. Nike used patent light architecture optics to filter very specific wavelengths of light within the visible spectrum, so that it would enhance key visual objects like a ball or a background, all the while reducing sun glare. Nike really went deep into this. Researchers studied reflections of light from common objects and outdoor environments. Unlike regular contact lenses, which only cover the iris, the Maxsight lenses cover the entire eyeball, essentially being like scleral lenses. This improved the athlete's field of vision while helping reduce light leakage at the edges, eliminating potential glares. So in other words, in layman's terms, in simple terms, the lenses filtered blue light rays, which reduced distortion, allowing for easier tracking of fast movements or objects. So yeah, Nike really did create a real-life Sharingan. The Sharingan is one of the 2 visual dojutsus introduced in Naruto. A third one is introduced, but that's in Naruto Shippuden. The basic power of the Sharingan is that it enhances perception, increases reaction time, allows the user to see fast-moving objects, and even gives them predictive abilities. I mean, the word Sharingan in English literally translates to copy wheel eye. Now, the Maxsight isn't advanced enough to where you're going to be predicting your opponent's movements, but it will allow you to see clearer and see fast-moving objects, which is important depending on the sport you play. The Sharingan is popular, and one of the reasons for that is its many abilities, depending on the user. The Sharingan can even be upgraded, become even more powerful, under very specific conditions, in which it will become the Mangekyo Sharingan. This then will change the pattern on the eye, and give the user profound new abilities. These abilities differ from each person. These range from casting flames at will, changing an opponent's perception of time, being able to travel between dimensions, being able to manipulate an opponent's thoughts, and so on and so on. These can range from simple cool abilities to wildly creative. And obviously, the coolest thing about the Sharingan is that they're red. Easily recognizable. Aesthetically, it just looks awesome. But unfortunately, Nike's Maxsight lenses didn't come in red. But they did come in two different colors. One in a grayish green tint, and the other in an amber tint. The gray-green tint was designed for sports played in bright outdoor environments, such as track, golf, and football. The amber tint was designed for sports that dealt with fast-moving objects, like soccer, tennis, and basketball. In a Bosch & Lomb press release, they stated that the design of the lens allowed the user to see an object of focus, such as a ball, with greater clarity than with the naked eye. And here's the thing, you read statements like this from the people who were partnered in making it, and Nike is throwing all their money and research behind this. So it would make one think, did this actually work? Did the Maxsights really allow people to see better and have more visual acuity? Did it give them an edge over the opposition? And more importantly, did it make them perform better? Was it really like having a Sharingan, where you see everything so clearly, to the point where you feel like nothing gets past you? Well, the results varied. Now hold on, let me back up a little, because the questions I asked earlier are essentially the same question, just asked in different ways, but they do have two types of answers. Firstly, did the lenses work as intended? Well, yes, there's no arguing that the lenses didn't give the athlete better visual clarity while wearing them. As Bosch & Lomb spokesman Tor Constantino said, it is a lens that enhances contrast in any sort of outdoor recreation or competitive activity. Now, for the second question, did the lenses work in giving the user a competitive edge and have them perform better? Now, that's where the results varied. There's actually been a couple studies on this, and Bosch & Lomb actually did their own study. They gathered 100 athletes who competed in different sports. In the study, the participants wore clear lenses for 2 weeks, and the Maxsight lenses for 2 weeks. The order in which they wore the lenses was randomized. What the study found was that the Maxsight lenses significantly reduced the amount of glare while enhancing contrast compared to the clear lenses. In a statement on the results of the study, Bill Reindahl, Director of Scientific and Clinical Affairs for Bosch & Lomb, said that visual comfort scores with the Maxsight lens were significantly higher than with the clear lenses. Their visual system is not as likely to be stressed in the outdoor environment, which helps them feel more relaxed and perform better in all levels of competition. But the thing is, there's nothing here in the study that describes how they performed better, or how much better they performed. Sure, you can assume that the more relaxed an athlete is, and the clearer they're able to see, they'd perform better. But there's no clear details in the study on how that is. Another study was made by Northeastern State University on the effects of the Maxsight lenses on golfers. What they found is what we already know, that the lenses do in fact give the wearer excellent visual acuity, but that it doesn't actually guarantee an increase in performance. The author of the study goes on to say that medical professionals should not make blank statements such as buy these lenses and you will play better. The study further says the group most positively receptive to the Maxsight lenses were average skilled golfers, while the experienced high-level golfers said they felt hindered by the change of visual perception. But with all this said, I think it's important to note that individuals associated with the product, like Dr. Howard Breedlove, said, and I quote, "For a vast majority of individuals who wear this lens, it will give them the edge over someone of equal skill not wearing them, but it won't make a media core high school player get a scholarship at Notre Dame." So pretty understandable. You won't go from being Draymond Green, wearing the Maxsight lenses, and then suddenly become LeBron James. You won't go from being Mac Jones to then wearing the lenses, and then become Peyton Manning. The best sports analogy I can think of when talking about the lenses and its effects compared to other sports is swimming. When it comes to competitive swimming, one of the most important things is speed. How fast do you swim? Therefore, timing is everything in swimming. Sometimes winning a race can come down to half a second, or even milliseconds. So a thing that swimmers do to get an advantage is they shave their bodies. They shave their entire bodies spotless, because just even one strand of hair can cause a swimmer to be slower by a nanosecond. This is due to drag, and like I said, timing is everything in swimming. That one less hair can give you the advantage you need, even if you feel it or not. Same for the Maxsight lenses. You might not be able to feel it, but that small boost to visual acuity can be everything. Now, to be fair, several athletes did actually wear them on the field. Leon Halep and Stephen Podd in the NFL, Michelle Way in golf, and most notably Brian Roberts, who was a second baseman for the Baltimore Orioles. Before the 2005 season, Roberts had played nearly 400 games, hitting only 16 home runs. But in the 2005 season, he hit 17 home runs. His batting average was .264, which is above league average, and he made the All-Star game. During all this, Roberts was wearing the Maxsight lenses, and credits the lenses for his improved performance. But unfortunately for Nike, with all this money, research, and athlete recognition, the Maxsight lenses weren't all that popular. Just 3 years after its release, the Maxsight lenses were discontinued, and to this day, we've still never been given a reason why. It's a mystery, but not really. And it's insane because Nike put so much behind this product, and they thought it was going to be the next big thing. Nike spokesman Dean Stolyer before its launch said, and I quote, "We're cautiously optimistic that this is a mass market opportunity." He goes on to say, "We did this because we see in this something for the percentage of our consumers who've always looked for every advantage they can get." But even with Nike's cautious optimism, it's hard to imagine that they thought they'd be discontinuing the Maxsight lenses only 3 years into its run. And how could they? They thought the lenses would have broad appeal. Anything with the Nike brand attached to it is guaranteed to be a mass market opportunity, even contact lenses specifically made for athletes. But one of the biggest reasons for the Maxsight's failure is that Nike dropped the ball when it came to advertising. It's kind of hard to understand this, since this is Nike. They're known for advertising their products, promoting, making commercials. Some of the best ads we've ever seen have come from Nike, not to mention the unlimited supply of money that they have. So it's hard to understand how Nike failed on this point. They could have easily advertised the product on their biggest athletes. Tiger Woods comes to mind. Tiger Woods, who at the time was one of the most recognizable people on the planet, a Nike athlete, and he played golf, one of the sports for which their product, the Maxsight lenses, was intended. They could have easily put him in a commercial wearing the Maxsights, but they didn't. They could have had an awesome ad campaign for this product showing athletes from different sports, but they didn't do that for whatever reason. And you just know that if this was made in Japan, they would have gone all out on the ads. We've all seen those Japanese commercials where they merge different properties to promote a product. They for sure would have made some Naruto Sharingan-like commercials. And in all the tests, studies, and research they did, one thing to know was that the athletes liked how the lenses looked, saying that it gave them an intimidation factor over their opponents. There's your idea for an ad, with a plethora of awesome opportunities, and Nike decided to not choose any. And it's kind of crazy how fast this product died off. A product that Time magazine called one of the best inventions of 2005. But really, it turned out to be one of the biggest failures of 2005. And I'll say this technology, this product, which came out 19 years ago, produced mixed results. But certainly eventually, this type of product, this type of technology, will one day become the norm in sports, sooner rather than later. Instead of just improving visual acuity, one day the optics will be so advanced, the AI in the lenses will be able to predict which way your opponent will go, which route he'll take, what move he'll do. It'll show up like a HUD in a video game, and it'll be able to tell this just by a twitch of the muscle, the way the foot is positioned, the movement of the opponent's eye, the way he breathes, stuff that the naked eye can't catch up on in the heat of the moment. Which at that point, it really will be a real life Sharingan. It reminds me of the teaser trailer for Black Ops 3, where it shows the evolution of technology to the point where we can start making body modifications, and eventually, this makes its way into sports.
You look at me and you see only what you want to see. But you know what I see? Everything.
The 2055 retinal implant from Court Optic.
And it raises the ethical question, at least when it comes to sports. Are these mods and enhancements fair on a competitive level playing field? If the Maxsight did give its wearer a significant boost in performance, would this be fair? Every sport has rules and regulations on what you can and can't use. What determines a mod or enhancement to be non-permissible in sports? Or is this just an inevitability of sports merging with technology? Will we see people with a robot arm playing baseball and hitting home runs every day? And with the Maxsight lenses, the real first step of body enhancement to be used in a professional competitive game. Nike, even when it fails, proves to be innovative and far beyond everyone else. The Maxsight lenses didn't fail, it just came too early.